And now our meeting is recording. This meeting, as you know, was initially envisioned to be in person. We were planning on it for quite a while. And last week, after seeing kind of how the situation with COVID and the growth in cases, working with Mark and Lynn, we decided that the most prudent thing was to go online. And so today's meeting is kind of a test of our ability to pivot and think creatively about how we meet moving forward. Generally, a meeting like a kickoff meeting for a project is something that we always do in person, because it sets the tone for how we get along together, how we work together. So what we're going to do today is kind of trying to do it online using technology tools. And these are tools that we'll be using probably for the bulk of the time that we're working together. So just something to keep in mind. And it's an exciting adventure, and very happy to be in it with you. So for today, we have just a few items to touch on. We'll talk a little bit, we'll introduce ourselves, of course. We'll have an overview of what the comprehensive plan is. We'll talk about the steering committee and the role. Of course, you've all received that communication, but it's always good to chat and confirm things. We also talk about community engagement and next steps for the project. So I want to introduce, first of all, I want to introduce our team. And we're three firms working for you to develop your comprehensive plan. My company's name is Community Design Group, and then we have Moxie Urban Consulting and SEH. I'm the overall project manager. I'm an urban planner and a civil engineer, been working for 25 years, and I'll be integrating all of the components of the work that are going to be done both by myself and by the other two firms, so that everything flows together and that it responds to the goals and aspirations of the Glencoe community and of the and to the guidance that you and city staff are going to be providing to us. For Moxie Consulting, we have Merritt Clapp-Smith, and for SEH, we have a number of staff. The four main staff that will be participating are John, Andy Masterpole, Bria Grace, Mike Cotilla. But I will let both Merritt and John introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they'll be doing. So maybe Merritt, if you can say a little bit about yourself and your role in the project.
Hello there, I'm Merritt Clapp-Smith, and I have been a planner for my career. I've spent time in the public sector working for cities and counties, so really familiar with that. I've done a lot of work with task forces and on community engagement. And through my career, really covered kind of all the bases that you'll have in the comprehensive plan. But my focus will be with this group on the land use, housing, and economic development areas, as well as general community engagement and thinking about what your implementation plan looks like. Because the only reason all of this is worth it is because it's going to give you a direction to go forward and get some great stuff done for Glencoe. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Merritt. And I want to ask John, and I should say, Merritt and I work together. We have right now working on two other projects together. So we have a great working relationship and are able to pass materials and documents back and forth all the time. The other fantastic partner, of course, is SEH. And SEH and my firm and I personally have worked together on numerous projects, many of them with me as a sub to them, and then many of them with me as the prime consultant and SEH as a sub-consultant to me. So we have a long relationship and are able to work easily with each other, can share files and information, and have great rapport in our teams. And currently, I have another project that I'm working with SEH, and we've been in recent proposals and have in the past completed several important pieces of work. So with that, John, I wonder if you could say a couple of words of introduction to you and to the SEH team.
Yeah, so I've been at SEH about 14 years. Before that, I was at the city of Hutchinson for almost 20. I'm a civil engineer, but also have acted as a city planner in the past. I like working with both sides, enjoy that. You can see the team is really diverse. We have people that'll be working on parks and planning, on transportation, on support to some of the other areas. Obviously, we have a pretty deep knowledge of the infrastructure and the history over the last few years of the community. So we hope to integrate all that and include our team to make sure that everything is coordinated well and that we support Antonio and Merritt in their efforts as well. So really looking forward to this. I mean, we've done a lot of plans over the years. SEH has done a number of stormwater plans. We've done sewer planning. We've been involved in the transportation plan and water. And so we have that institutional knowledge of the community that we hope to bring to the plan as a whole and to help pull things together. Really looking forward to this.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, John. Thank you. So we have invited to participate in our meeting today. This is the list of our 29 members of the project steering committee. And, you know, I am wondering, since it is our first kickoff meeting and it's good to say hello, if we can go kind of in order per column vertically down and have everybody say, you know, hi, my name is, and I am here representing X or Y or organization, or this is my role. So I'm going to, I don't know, there may be people who are not present today. We have 21 participants, so about 8 are not with us today. But I'm wondering, Rachel, would you mind going first? Okay.
Rachel's not on today.
Okay, thanks, Merritt. How about Carrie?
Hi, I'm Carrie Ward. I am just a excited resident to be serving on the DRC in this group. I do work for McLeod County Public Health, so I can maybe give some county perspective to some of the things we might be working on as well. I help Lynn lead the Glencoe in Motion grassroots active living group that Glencoe has started, and I also sit on the beautification subcommittee of the Downtown Revitalization Committee.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carrie. Thanks for being here. Sharon? Okay.
She's not with us either, from what I can see.
Okay. Thanks, Merritt. How about Chip? I know Chip is on, but his microphone might not be working. Maybe it's not working.
Does anyone want to introduce Chip?
Well, Chip is wonderful, and I'm excited that he's part of our team. So,
excuse me, I just got my microphone working. This is Sharon. I am here.
Oh, hi, Sharon.
Thank you.
So I butted in because Chip wasn't talking. So.
Sharon, do you want to say the organization you're representing or kind of your role?
Well, I'm currently retired, an interested citizen, but I have owned a business downtown, and I have been interested in what's going on downtown for 20 years at least, and been with the chamber, and I am on the Downtown Revitalization Committee and the EconoMart subcommittee, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see this happening.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here, Sharon. So then we'll call on John Van Dam. Is John on? Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Then we'll ask Mr. Charlie Guerrero if he is on.
Hey guys, my name is Charlie Guerrero. I'm a small business owner, own Home Solutions. I'm part of the Downtown Revitalization Committee and then also the Hennepin Avenue Subcommittee. I have served on the chamber numerous roles in the past 20 years, part of the board, part of the EDC. But right now, these two committees are the only thing I'm involved in right now.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll ask Larry if we can say a couple of words. Okay, doesn't sound like Larry is on. How about John?
I believe Larry is on. Saw him previously, but.
Huh.
All right.
John Dalkey?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sounds like John is not on. Mike Drew. Wow. How about Gabby Fountain?
I'm here.
Hi, Gabby.
Hi. I'm Gabby Fountain. I work at the public library here in town on a lot of the beautification and the Hennepin subcommittees for the DRC, and just excited to get this started.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Oh, and I should say, one of the things that we're going to have several conversations throughout the day today, Merritt is taking down some notes that will be helpful for our team. But then all of the information that we gather, we'll make sure to share back with you, and it'll be part of our meeting. So, and we're recording it, so we can always go back and get additional information, or if you'd like to review the meeting too. I'll ask Michael to introduce himself.
Hello, I'm here representing Rice Companies. I'm also a local resident, and I serve on the DRC as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael. Elisa Dording. Okay, she may not be on. Kyle Sparby.
Yeah, I'm here. I serve on the Econo-Lot subcommittee as well, and I'm also employed by the Glencoe Light and Power Commission.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Becky Edwards. Ryan Voss.
Yeah, I'm here. Let's see, I am on the number of committees from the EDC to DRC. I serve on the Hennepin Avenue subcommittee and the Economart one, and also operate a construction company. Been here for 30 plus years in that role. And I'm your mayor-elect, so I'm really excited about this whole endeavor. I think it's going to be it'll be very, very helpful.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Yes, congrats to you.
Thank you. And then we have Lynn Exted. Is she on? Bob Sent.
Hey. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, sorry. I had unmuted on my picture, but it's just, I had to unmute on the bottom. So maybe other people have the same problem. I'm on the City Planning Commission and a Blandon attendee.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Bob Sent, are you on? Maybe not. Wes Olson. Dave Stark. I know Dave's on.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Dave Stark, member of the Glencoe Planning Commission. And Tony, I'm really anxious to get this thing going because our commission met with you, I think, 2 years ago, in 2018, and we need to move this forward. I'm really excited.
Thank you very much, Dave. We are super excited to be part of this effort and to be leading this work for you. So thank you. And yeah, these are the first steps after the 2 years. Now we're running. We're starting the run. Kevin, are you on?
Sir, well, good morning, or good afternoon now. Kevin Dietz. I am a lifelong resident here in Glencoe. I worked for the police department for nearly 27 years, and retired from that. And then I got on the city council for 4 years. And when I was done with that, I was on the planning commission. So I'm still on the planning commission, also on the become an onboarding member on that one. And just very excited. I mean, there is so much positive energy here. I went to Blandon with a number of these other folks, and there's so much positive that can come out of this. So I'm really excited.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for being here, Kevin. We're excited to work with you. Thank you. Mayor Wilson, I understand wasn't able to make it today. Is that right? Councilmember Alexander? Councilmember-elect Sue Olson? Are you on? Councilmember Schrupp? Paul, I know Councilmember Paul Lemke is on.
Yeah, I'm here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for giving of your time to help the city move forward with this important project. Just like to say I'm the liaison to the DRC, and also I'm a teacher here in school. So from that side, I can help add to the plan or give information. And I'm looking forward to getting this thing rolling.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. Councilor Corey Need? I'm not sure if Corey is on. Councilor Alan Robick, are you on? Mark Larson, I think, is on.
Here, city administrator on my 32nd year. So very interested and hope this goes well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. And Lynn, are you on? I know you're on, actually. So.
Yep. Lynn Newman, Assistant City Administrator. Very excited to see this getting going and excited for what's to come.
Thank you very much. So that's our round of introductions. We won't do this every time, but I think it's always important when kicking off a project, everybody get a chance to say hello, and for the consultant team as well to get an idea about the different members in the steering committee. So in the interest and in the spirit of getting to know each other, now you see me talking on one portion on your screen, and then you see a picture of me there. This is earlier today. I was practicing the meeting, getting all the details ready. And I thought, well, I think we need to maybe do a couple of things to know each other a little bit more, because we are working virtually. So, and also, to familiarize ourselves with some of the tools that we'll be using in the meeting today and in the following meetings. So this is a picture from Zoom. You recognize Zoom, and I want to make sure that everybody is familiar with the chat feature. So if it's that little cartoon text balloon looking thing at the bottom of your bar. When you click on it, of course, it opens up this box at the side of your screen, and you're able to type your message there, your text. And so because we want our meetings to be interactive and we want to gather information from you, the steering committee, that's one of the things that we always do in kickoff meetings and in subsequent meetings with steering committees. The steering committee steers the project and influences and orients the project, and so we have to ask questions. And so I'm going to ask you one question, and this will be a test for everybody on the chat box. So I'm going to ask you, we'll take just 1 minute, we'll be very quick, and we'll ask you to activate your chat box, type your first name, and then what you love best about Glencoe. So let's everybody be technological, and let's open up those chat boxes, and let's take a minute. And I'm getting my clock going. I'll set my alarm and everything, so it's official. Everybody ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's send in those thoughts about what we love best about Glencoe. Are the comments coming in? let's see. And I am going to stop the share for a minute so I can see my chat box because it's not letting me see it right now.
Antonio, in the recording, all of these answers will be kept, right? And
Oh,
from the
yes.
history?
Yes, and actually, even if we weren't even recording the meeting, still the chat, all of that is part of information that we'll be using. So don't feel like just because you're writing it, then after the meeting, it goes away. We get all of that text information, and then it's part of the guidance that we take. So we're going to work with this that you're writing. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. There is the clock. And let's see how many answers we got. All right. All right, we got a few answers. We didn't get 21 answers. And I noticed that I made an error. I made an error already. So I'm hoping you forgive me. And the error is that I forgot to introduce Barb Janicki, who is joining us today. And so, Barb, I am wondering if you are able to introduce yourself for a quick minute.
Yes, I'm Barb Janicki, and I am a resident of Glencoe my entire life, and I am excited to be working with this committee and trying to help Glencoe grow and change. And I just ran for mayor, and I want to congratulate Ryan on winning. And I heard a lot of information from our residents when I was out campaigning, and it's certainly something I want to share with this group. And I am really excited to see Glencoe change and grow.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Barb. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So what I would like to do now, so now we have used our technologies for a little bit of initial sharing, and oh, now my computer has almost frozen. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it's giving me that little spinny thing that computers like to do when they're working too hard. Now I'm going to ask Merritt. Merritt, is this thing back on? Can you see me? And,
I can see you have the slide of you showing how we get to know each other.
Okay.
And now it says, what is the comprehensive plan?
Oh, fantastic. So this thing's still working. Good. So what is a comprehensive plan? We're going to be working together for the next 10 to 12 months. What are we going to be doing? Well, a comprehensive plan is a long-term vision for how a community grows and develops over time. Where to invest, how to invest. It's the foundation for the policies that a city pursues, and the legal framework, the development framework. So zoning, land use, where transportation investments go. It guides the action that the city pursues, and it makes possible the implementation of ideas. The comprehensive plan makes this all possible. It's a foundational document. This quote that I'm showing you right now, without a plan, a community is essentially in a reactive posture. It's better for a community to be thinking about what it wants and actually making what it wants happen, rather than responding to initiatives that may not match with residents' visions or aspirations. And so it's a really important foundational document. It lets a community steer its path. Comprehensive plans, and I'm going to do one last question to Merritt. Merritt, did this slide change over now? Okay.
It says looking into the future.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So most plans, when you develop a comprehensive plan, you're not expected to do one every year. Generally, you do one that looks into the future 20 years, but you do them every 10 years. So you update every 10 years. So in 2020, we're going to be looking at trends and needs and development to account for what may happen over the next 20 years to 2040. The farther we get from 2020, the harder it is to predict or anticipate or to know what'll happen. So do I really know what's going to happen 20 years from now? No. 18 years, well, still no. 15 years, maybe I have some ideas because of trends that are established. 5 years, yeah, maybe we can predict a little bit. Of course, there's a lot of uncertainty in predictions anyway. A year ago, probably none of us had heard of this COVID thing that now has changed the way we do business and the way that we are meeting. But generally, trends in development and investment over time are somewhat predictable. And so anyway, a comprehensive plan looks 20 years into the future, but then every 10 years, you update the comprehensive plan, and then that comprehensive plan again moves 20 years into the future. So that really you are, the period of time for which you are planning is usually 10 years. And so this is the cycle that most communities use in their planning. And it's an important thing so that it allows you to have that vision and to calibrate that vision with the voice of your residents, and then be able to steer the community's path and development. What a comprehensive plan does, just kind of to summarize it, it's a common vision that everybody in your community has had a chance to participate in and kind of help orient for the next 10 to 20 years. It gathers the goals and recommendations of those aspirations, and then also all of the other plans, kind of specific plans that you might do, for example, for transportation, for your water utilities, for where your parks are going to be located and how you're going to invest in them, in a single umbrella. And that single umbrella actually supports your policymakers. It supports your city staff, it supports your council members, it supports your planning commission, because you have a single document that, by virtue of being comprehensive, makes sure that there are not initiatives that are working at cross purposes. So for example, you won't have a housing policy that is looking to develop housing in land that your economic development plan says this is the best land for industry or for the new factories that people want to locate in our community. And it also helps to determine, we want to revitalize the downtown. One of the key things we want to do is we want to bring more people there. And so how do we do that? Not only with better transportation, more business activity, but maybe it's also thinking about maybe we get more residential development in the downtown. Maybe we have different types of development available. So the purpose is to support a comprehensive and integrated approach to the future. It's a roadmap for getting to the future. And it's also, and this is something that most people don't think about, it's really a key marketing document for your community. Why? Because it makes, first of all, the way change happens in a community is generally it's businesses, it's developers, it's investors who are building the housing, building the industrial facilities that help make a place thriving and help bring jobs and help bring residents and help increase tax base. The public sector has a very important role in kind of the armature, the framework for, what do streets feel like, how do they work, etc. But having this document that is a comprehensive set of ideas lets developers know and investors know Glencoe is ready for some X type of housing in this part of the city. And this is what they are looking for there in that location. So if I'm an investor, I don't have to do a lot of pre-work or convince or try to convince people after I come up with my design idea. I can say, your comprehensive plan says this is what you're looking for, and I want to do the same thing. So that process will go more smoothly, and it helps then to build implementation for the city's future. Cities of all sizes complete comprehensive plans. Of course, you hear the big metro cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul have comprehensive plans, but so does International Falls. It's a city of 6,000 people. Virginia, city of 8,400 people. St. Joseph, city of 7,000 people. Grand Marais, city of 1,400 people. It's really because in all of these places, change occurs, and all of these communities want to be able to steer that change so that the change supports and gets to the vision that the residents want. So it's a really important key foundational document for our community. Your comprehensive plan, what are some of the things we're going to be thinking about? We're going to be thinking about the economy, how to strengthen and diversify downtown, how to have more jobs and opportunity available, how to help people expand, grow their businesses. We're going to be thinking about infrastructure, utilities, roadways, etc. Land use, where should housing go? What kind of housing? What are the price points? Where should industrial land go? And we're going to also be thinking about community in kind of the population and demographics. Is the population aging? What are some of the needs that people might need 10 years from now? What are some of the types of housing, supportive housing, etc., that might be necessary? How easy is it to get to parks? Do we have enough parks in the city? And again, because community is also part of your gathering places, downtown, again, is an important factor for the plan. Now, about your specific comprehensive plan, these are the arenas, the areas that will be chapters of the document or sub-chapters. So these are all different items that will be part of it. We'll have a vision that guides the document. We'll have land use guidance, housing, transportation, revitalization of the downtown. So it's continuation of the work you're doing, urban design guidelines, economic development, parks and recreation. We'll have a guidance for your utilities over time. We'll address cultural resources, resiliency, arts activity, tourism, and bolded as a key item. And as Merritt mentioned, plans are wonderful. They're fantastic paper things that we put together, but they're entirely useless unless we implement them.
Antonio?
Yes. Yes, Merritt.
Antonio, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will, maybe I think I need to not move so much. That's overwhelming my data if I move. Okay, so implementation is the key. And we are going to be focused, we are focused from the beginning of this work in getting you a plan that can be implemented and will lead to change. Because we know you are excited about that, and so are we. That's when we know a plan is useful, is when it gets implemented. So with that, and because we are interested in being interactive and want to make sure we get your guidance and thoughts, we see this little thing reminding me, it's time to launch a poll. Now, we're going to launch a poll within Zoom. And I don't know how many of you have used this before, but so I'm going to ask you a question. And let's see, let's hope that this comes out. Oh, it's not letting me do it. It's okay. Here is the poll. Are you ready? I'm going to launch it. Here we go. 5, 4. Which of these comprehensive plan topic areas are you most interested in? And we're going to take a minute to answer. And maybe a minute might be too long. So just select one. What are you most excited about? And there's 10 choices. You might need to scroll down. I don't know if you can see. And we already are getting some votes. We have 3 people out of 21 have voted so far. We have okay, we're getting 13 out of 22 have voted. Getting closer. we have about 10 seconds left. Well, it sounds, so 14 out of 22 have voted. If you haven't voted, please make a choice. We're gonna close the poll. So we're gonna end the poll and let's see. People are most interested in community engagement and the community vision for the plan. It's what it looks like. I'm gonna show you the results. Land use. So people are most excited about downtown engagement, land use, and economic development. So thanks very much for that. I'm going to return us. I'm going to return us to the screen. Just one quick second. Back to the desktop. And we're doing this technology business here. I'll just be a quick second, I think, before this thing takes us there. Very good. I'll ask Merritt again. Merritt, did my screen switch over to a brief overview? All right, yes, a double yes. Okay, so here I'm going to just go into a tiny bit of detail about what each of those chapters mean. So land use, what is land use about? It's about where things go in relation to the overall layout of the city. It's about where economic development occurs, where housing and what type of housing, for example, might go, what type of uses on the land that makes up the community of Glencoe, and also how that varies across different locations. For example, some things that are appropriate for the downtown or the city core are not appropriate for the city's rural or suburban zone, kind of from to the outer parts, and vice versa. So thinking about what fits where and how that ought to vary. Related to housing, that's something, you know, it's another chapter of the plan. You have a fantastic housing assessment study from 2017. Census data has changed. So this study used, I think, data that ended in 2015. And as you know, now we're in 2020. So as part of our work, we're going to be updating the data and kind of verifying the trends and then making recommendations that take what's applicable from this housing study and maybe adding some additional recommendations and thoughts, and then having a kind of a robust set of recommendations as part of the housing chapter of your comprehensive plan. And we'll talk about, you know, for example, rehabilitation and maintenance of homes, multifamily and locations for that, etc. Now, before going on to transportation, Merritt is going to be working on quite a bit of the housing chapter. And I'm wondering, Merritt, do you have any things you'd like to add about that introduction to the housing chapter?
Well, as Antonio mentioned, you had a really great housing study done pretty recently. So the interest is in kind of touching base and seeing what might have changed in community perspective since that plan was done, and where your housing priorities are moving forward. It's also important to identify where there might be opportunities and obstacles. So for instance, you might want senior housing, but you don't have to worry too much about it because the market's developing it. Whereas there could be another type of housing you'd like that's very, very hard to do. And so we'd want to put a little more focus on the things that need that help.
Thank you, Merritt. Thank you. Another chapter, kind of a key chapter in the plan as well, is transportation. Of course, you've had, you know, this recent transportation study, and there's additional work going on that's planned by MnDOT and by others now. SEH, as your city engineer, has been doing a lot of work in the community for a lot of years, and we'll be using that information as well to have a set of recommendations and a kind of a summary and set of recommendations, for example, that take into consideration the needs of the downtown or the needs of potential areas of the city that we may recommend for higher industrial development, etc. The idea as well to make sure that as streets, you know, over the future years may be repaired, reconfigured, or reconstructed, that we include a variety of users, that we think about walkability and bikeability as key assets for the city as well. And so we'll be including that. And here you see a graphic showing, at a standard pace of about 3 miles per hour, you can reach quite a lot of the city of Glencoe on foot, and on a bicycle, you can get across the city fairly easily. People don't do that today very much. Why is that? What are some things that we could do to make that easier for people? What are some routes that we could designate? With the idea that we want walkability, bikeability, and also because we understand that walkability, for example, and bikeability and access are key components for success for businesses. And so we'll be thinking about economic development as we are thinking about transportation. With that, I think maybe John, do you want to chat a little bit about transportation and some of the other work? A few slides forward, I'll talk about utilities as well. But I don't know if you have any thoughts you'd like to share regarding transportation or utilities and the work that SEH will be contributing.
Yeah, I think you did a nice job kind of talking overall on transportation. One of the interesting things when we did that origin destination study a couple of years ago was noting that most of the traffic that's on Trunk Highway 22 actually stops in Glencoe. It doesn't go through Glencoe. So it's not just getting traffic through town, it's getting it to the places they want to be, providing alternate routes. You have Seneca, you have a number of different people, different uses, different employers. So we want to make sure all that's addressed, as well as kind of the integration like Antonio was talking about with the pedestrian and bikeways. And I know people have been very interested in that, especially as we move forward with infrastructure. We know we have limited funding. What do we emphasize? How do we prioritize? And how do we tie it all together?
Thank you, John. Very helpful. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about downtown vitality. I know that it's a big interest in the community. Downtown is a key focus for the plan. Of course, SEH developed the Downtown Action Plan a couple of years ago. Your community has been really active in implementing changes and improvements that come from the plan. People have been working together as part of the DRC and other groups. And so what we want to do is we want to support the next steps for that plan, for their work, for that implementation. Looking at sites, for example, the Economart site that the city is currently doing work with the community on, and bring in, for example, this site in particular, and maybe a couple of other sites within the city, for kind of design ideas and design workshops with the community, so that we can begin to have maybe some views of what things could look like, and then we can move towards implementing them, with the goal of bringing people in and making fun and excitement and activity as much a part of the downtown Glencoe experience as is possible. And of course, you can see nobody's wearing masks. We're going to get over this virus thing, and then we'll be back to hanging out and enjoying each other's company as we want to. So parks and recreation, another important chapter, kind of updating some of the previous park visions that have been developed, in this case by SEH, working previously for you, updating those visions, thinking about wayfinding, thinking about your overall park system, and also connectivity, the trails. So the recreational trail component, how that intersects with the transportation aspect of walkability and bikeability as well. And that idea of integrating recreation, parks, transportation, economic development. That's why we're excited about it, because it's a comprehensive plan, and we want to have it work to further the aims of the community. Economic development, thinking about the different kinds of business opportunities that exist, niches that the city may have some competitive advantages, and then also supporting existing businesses in their, what recommendations can we offer to help existing businesses grow, expand, thrive, and also how can we support aspiring entrepreneurs, people who are not business owners today, but who may want to start something in the community. What are some things that we can put into play within the comprehensive plan that will support that and will allow the city to play a more active role even in helping Glencoe citizens start those activities. Public utilities and infrastructure, you're thinking about from other plans that have been done or have been recently completed, integrating that with the other considerations regarding land use, regarding industrial development, your sewer, water supply, etc. Maybe I'll ask John, anything that stands out that you want to chat about for utilities, John? Seeing how SEH has really been doing a lot of this work over the last few years.
Yeah, I know some of the focus has been on where can we easily develop? And I think we know that East Corridor on Trunk Highway 212 is going to be a focus because that's really where the traffic is coming, where the people want to be. And we're out of capacity for water in that area. We have to put some financial resources into other infrastructure as well, street, storm sewer, for example. So part of the comprehensive plan will be making sure that we have those utility and infrastructure resources to serve the needs of the plan. And that'll take a little bit of a review. You've already invested quite a bit in certain areas of town. We have a lot of capacity for sanitary sewer. The wastewater plant is being redone. I've always considered that as an economic development tool because you're able to draw businesses that need sewer treatment. So we'll be integrating that aspect into the land use and other plans.
Wonderful. Thank you, John. Thank you. I want to do a little quick time check. We're at 12:26. So we've been meeting together for about 55 minutes so far. We still have about 4 hours left worth of content. So I'm going to even go a little faster. But my aim is to get everybody done here with the meeting by 1 o'clock as we had promised originally. So implementation is the key. This is how we're going to do it. We'll identify different goals for each of the chapters. So for example, here you see from another plan that we developed, land use. Each goal has a specific set of strategies, guidance, who owns the issue, what priority it is. And we'll organize that for all of the recommendations that come from the plan. We'll also begin to think about, for example, for specific improvements, what happens in the short term, what happens in the long term. And then we'll identify potential funding sources for, these are all pages from other plans that we've completed. We're trying to identify sources of funding that the city could apply for to implement specific pieces of the work. Now, this sounds like a lot of work, and this is just, it's just a sample. I didn't give you all of the chapters and all of the detail, but it sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work. How are we going to do it? Well, I'll tell you. That's the answer. The project steering committee. See, you guys didn't know what you signed up for. That's what we're going to be asking you to do. You're going to be working with us. We're going to be working together to do this work. And our intention is that we will be calling on you through the time that we are together to complete this work. So just a couple of quick summary. And I sent all of you kind of description of the roles and responsibilities of the steering committee. We'll take a quick look at that just in a couple of minutes. But overall, you're going to help guide key decisions for the project. You're going to help us communicate with residents. We're really going to rely on you very, very heavily, especially because given the current health circumstances, we are not going to be able to have, it sounds like to me, we are not going to be able to have in-person meetings, in-person engagement. We won't be able to go to the supermarket and sit there and ask people to fill up our boards. We won't be able to go meet with organizations in person. So you're going to be, through your networks, through your connections, you're going to be kind of the eyes and ears and voice of the project with the Glencoe community, so that other Glencoe residents and businesses can participate. The steering committee is going to help develop the plan itself in terms of the recommendations. We will be writing up content, and then we'll be sharing it with you to see what you tell us about, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? And because we're going to be doing this online and remotely, through these coming months, we'll be sharing different platforms, different technology platforms for doing this work collaboratively. And this is this idea as well, that you take a look at things before we publish them. And there's a couple of items that later on that I want to share with you for that. You'll also help us know that the recommendations are compatible with city policies. And if they are not compatible, what changes should be made with city policy? So how do we improve policies where they can be, or how do we change the recommendations? So we'll have those conversations as well. So now you see my little thing popped up, says review the document. So I'm going to switch our screen over, and I'm going to go to my Acrobat PDF over here. And I have my chat box. I'm gonna close my chat box. And let's see, roles and responsibility. And this is small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So everybody should have received this draft already. And I hope you have had a chance to review it. Again, this first section talks about the purpose, and which is what I just explained to you. And here's the responsibilities part. So these are some of the things that we are going to be counting on you for. To attend monthly meetings, for example, to review the information that we send you. And so we'll be sending you stuff to review, and we'll be also identifying like how much time we need your response in. So we'll say, oh, please send us your comments in a week, or and that'll be generally the standard time frame, 1 week. It may also be that for some big items, it might be 10 days or 2 weeks. But anyway, we'll make that clear. But so that's a big responsibility, that you take a look at the items we send and that you offer our comments. The other, we'll be using not a super huge set of tools, but a few things. For sure, we're going to be using Zoom. We're going to be using another set of tools called Miro. We'll use Acrobat Review. So part of the responsibility is gaining proficiency in those through the work with us. And so, if you have a question on how to use something, to follow up with me or with another member of our team so that we can help you get set up and work on this. This communicate information to your contacts and with the larger community. This is really, that's a key item that I just mentioned a minute ago, because that's how we're going to get the word out and we're going to get the work done. Work with fellow members of the PSC when there are meetings that we want to host, help disseminate the information, and then also, Merit has a question.
No, no, I'm just getting my camera back into focus.
Oh, okay. I saw your hand there. I was like, oh, she really wants to get my attention. Okay.
Just ignore me.
Okay. So, this last item too. So we're going to be working with you on how to address kind of a comprehensive set of needs in the community. And so something that may be helpful as well, maybe just familiarizing yourself with other concepts or other tools or other organizations doing this work. And I know that many of you have gone to the Blandin Institute's trainings, and so you already know a lot of this, but others who may be new as well. And here is a couple of resources that may be helpful. Project for Public Spaces. This book, Walkable City, I don't know how many of you have read it. I highly recommend it. It talks about business, economic development, transportation, and the important role of walkability. This document has links in case you want to go and purchase it. And this is a fantastic guidebook, Smart Growth Manual. So just, there are many others, but I thought I'm just going to share 3 things that I think will be helpful. Time commitment for the steering committee is about 8 hours per month. So, we're going to have meetings like this one that we're having today, 2 hours per month, review and markup of documents or kind of follow up and follow through about 2 to 3 hours per month. We may ask you to go and take photographs of a specific thing, or to share some data, or to write some brief narrative or answer a survey. That might be an hour per month. And then an important and significant item, as I mentioned, is this outreach to personal contacts and to the community. So that's another 2 hours. We will meet on a monthly basis for the duration of the project. And right now we're scheduling, we think, the 3rd Thursday of each month. In a few minutes, we'll be able to confirm that with you, but that's what we're proposing, the 3rd Thursday of each month from 11:30 to 1 p.m. And we'll meet remotely. That's what it's looking like. And here's a list of everybody that we have on. I think, there is a question open about expanding the membership, and I'll follow up just in a minute. I'm going to ask you that question kind of more specifically. But right now, this is the makeup of the committee. And we have, I think, the only place where we don't have a name assigned is the park board representative to the committee. And I think that's in process right now. But anyway, this is our group. And so now I am going to switch back to the presentation, and it's taking a minute again. Okay, and then I'll ask Merritt to see if this is changing. Merritt, did it change? Yeah, yes, John is doing it. Thank you very much. Okay, so just a couple of items on logistics. You have seen this already, that we're communicating. I'm sending you messages through this Glencoe PSC at cdg.org. cdg.org is my company's URL. And so we've set up a listserv for this group. And you see that we have like 29, 30 people in our list, so that we don't have to worry about people getting dropped on emails, or somehow, people don't hear about kind of the conversation that maybe everybody else is on. We'll just send everything to this Glencoe PSC. And when we ask you something, to comment on the website or to comment on the engagement plan, send your reply to Glencoe PSC, and then everybody who's in the committee will be able to see it and respond and participate. Because we are working in this difficult circumstance of not being able to interact in person, we have to make extremely efficient use of online communication. And so this is one of the tools that we have set up for that. Again, this idea of the homework, we're gonna give you homework. You signed up to do some homework with us. Wonderful, thank you very much. Typically 1 week to complete. And I'll send you, part of that homework will be when I'll send you, I'll try to be very specific. I won't ask you to do 3 things within a single email. I'll say, comments on the engagement plan, and then everything, you reply to it, and then all of the responses are threaded under that same message, and we can find all of that guidance. Comments on the website, that's another thread, and I'll send that out. And of course, feel free to start up a conversation topic and send it out to everybody as well. And you see that there. Now this, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but it is looking like we're going to be doing this remote thing for a little while, actually a long while, in terms of the life of the project, probably for at least half. It may be that, I don't know when things are going to lift, but maybe to summer, I don't know. So we're going to plan on it, and we're going to actually even develop even more robust approaches to doing this with you. With that, I want to offer a couple of questions related to this. If you have any questions about the role of the steering committee or expectations for the steering committee, a couple of things you can do: type them in the chat box now, we'll get those comments. They'll be part of our record for the meeting, and we'll be able to answer back to you with answers. You can also start a conversation using that listserv. I was thinking that we could maybe talk it out, but I think we have about 20 minutes left, and that might take a little bit of a while. If that's okay with everybody, I'll move us on to the next question, but please do type your questions in. We'll get answers to you and we'll send them out to everybody. This is the other kind of big item that I wanted to make sure we chatted about. So right now, the project steering committee is made up of the Downtown Revitalization Committee and the Planning and Industry Commission, and as voting members, and then we have the City Council as ex officio members. Because the focus of the plan, the downtown is a key and important part, but it's actually for the comprehensive plan. We're looking at the entire city, and we're looking at areas that may even be outside of the current city limits. So in some ways, the geographical focus area is bigger, and we may want to bring, there may be people in the community who are maybe thinking, I like downtown, but that's not my focus. My focus is I want to be out here, in the areas on the outskirts of the city or towards the airport. Or so one of the things in conversation with the city, and of course, knowing that there's interest from others about joining the steering committee, we thought, if we're doing the meetings online, as long as our connection holds up, we can make the meetings bigger and have the conversation bigger. Email is free so far. So we were thinking of potentially expanding the steering committee by up to 5 additional members. And so we wanted to ask you, and so I'm gonna, so that Mark and Lynn can maybe take this in front of the city council, because they're gonna be making the decision about that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'm going to ask you via poll. See, we're using our technology here. This is a very interactive meeting. I wanna ask you if you think that the steering committee membership should be expanded to include up to 5 new members. And so this is, and right now, just to remind everybody, the voting members as it's established are DRC and Planning and Industry Commission, City Council, acting City Council are non-voting members according to the definition that we developed with the city. And we have 7 out of 23 people have voted. Let's take another 30 seconds. Let's see if we can get a few more votes. And again, keeping in mind, kind of we're like in the honor system a little bit, but please do make a vote. And we've had this. We have 18 out of 78. We're at a minute that the vote has been live. So I'm assuming.
Question.
Yes, sir.
With Ryan now becoming mayor-elect, and he's on the DRC, so he was a voting member, so he'll now become a non-voting member. Is that right, Mark? Or you need to think about replacing, is that 6 spots we need to fill per se if we do this?
That's gonna, I guess, be up to the city council, but I mean, we're looking at 5 to 6, so I think just any additional members would be great.
All right, thank you.
It's a great question. Thank you. Thank you, Councilor. So I think now we're close the poll, and we're gonna share the results. And here we learn that the project steering committee in its first vote has decided to expand itself. So good, thank you. Look at that, we're working together already, taking votes and making changes. Good job, everybody, thank you. So those are our results, and I'll ask Mark. Is that that's helpful? That's what kind of what you wanted to have so that you can take that to the council. Is that correct? Oh, Merritt.
Yeah, I just wondered, anybody that voted that they did not want to expand, I wondered if you wanted to say anything about just something you think we should have in mind if that expansion is occurring, just to keep an eye.
Oh yeah, thank you for that, Merritt. Thank you. That's a really key and important thing. If you wouldn't mind writing that in the chat box, maybe you can, if you can send it privately if you want. So if you feel more comfortable doing that. So use the chat box, type in the reasons why you think it shouldn't be expanded. And you can send it privately to myself or to Merritt, and we'll compile and anonymize the information, and we'll have that for consideration as well. Merritt, does that address also that issue you bring up? Is that a good way to proceed? Okay.
Yeah, because there might be some concerns that we can address even if we are expanding. So we just want to be sensitive to those.
Very good. Thank you very much for that, Merritt. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna bring us now to the presentation again and sharing the screen, because we have a few more things in there. We only have about, okay, now we're down only 2.5 hours left of presentation, so we're good. We're good. We're almost there. And let's see if this thing runs over here. Okay, questions. This is, okay, so that was the poll. You know, let me look at the clock. We have 15 minutes. Okay, I want to share this with you. I'm going to do this quick. We're going to go backwards. I'm going to skip through because I want to get us on a tool that allows us to get some of your ideas about your vision for the city. Normally, kickoff meetings, any kind of meetings, we have a lot of in-person, hands-on activities. We have post-its and brainstorms, and really try to get people's ideas free-flowing so that we can develop solutions. And you're looking at the pictures, oh my goodness, Corona everywhere. That's what I'm thinking now when I see it. It's like, oh my goodness, nobody's wearing face masks. And so we can't do it, but we have tools that allow us to work together to develop concepts, to develop ideas together. How are we going to do something similar? I shared this with some of the emails that I've sent. We're going to be using a tool called Miro to do this work. And so I'm going to give you a quick tour of it right now. I don't think that we'll have enough time to do the activity in person today, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to ask you to do it as homework. So this will be the first homework. Actually, no, we'll have like 3 homeworks. Today we're going to have a lot of homework. Sorry. So what is Miro? Is a tool. I'm sharing my screen now. Let's see if it switches over. It's a tool that allows us to, all of us together, be on a website and use, you saw the previously I shared an image that showed a board with Post-its. All of us, I mean, it would take probably about 10, 15 minutes for us to do this activity together. And I'm gonna just kind of show you. So we have this tool, all of us can log on at the same place and use a sticky note, and you can place it. And so here's the question: what is your favorite sandwich? I'm gonna say, well, a Reuben, of course. Although I do also like a hamburger. That's a sandwich, kind of. Is a hamburger a sandwich? Yeah, maybe. And there's a debate, I think, if people think sometimes a hot dog is a sandwich or not, but I'm gonna put that in there. So anyway, all of us can be doing this at the same time, and the reason for doing that all together is that we can begin to build some of these ideas about what you like best about Glencoe. What are some strengths? What are some assets that the city has? What do you not like about living and working in Glencoe? What should be improved? How can we make things better? So I'm going to send you a link to this, and all of us will be able to put in our thoughts there. Again, just to show you a little bit of how to use it, you see these icons on the side. You have a pen that allows you to write. You have little different icons here. You want to put an emoji. People like the emojis. It's loading a little bit slow because I'm running the web conference. But anyway, you're able to just drag and drop the different items that come up. And I think it's not, well, there you go. Okay, so we'll put this happy guy here. He likes a sandwich. So anyway, this is the icon for the sticky note, and it'll say, so it's a square with a little bit bent corner, and you just drag it. So you click on your mouse and you're dragging it. And once it's there, you can type in and you can. So that's the example that I wanted to share with this tool. We're not going to use it together right this minute because I think it's going to be a little bit complicated technologically. But I wanted to highlight a couple of things. After I send you the link, and so I'm going to ask you to do this on your time, after today. When you log in or when you come up, you're going to see this bar coming up to log in or sign up. You don't have to log in or sign up. You can ignore it. If you do log in or if you do sign up, it's actually better because you're able to access an application that you download. We'll be using this tool again. We'll be using it again. So probably later tonight, I'm going to kind of clean up the board a little bit more, and then I'll send it to you so you can practice and fill out those 3 questions that are there. And everybody can see everybody else's comments. We'll be on that honor system again. So don't delete somebody else's comments. Keep them all in there. Just add as many ideas as you can. And we will then have a chance to chat. We'll follow up via email, and we'll share that information with you. So take a look and let's do that. I'm looking at the clock right now. We have 9 minutes. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to skip forward. Community engagement. We talked about how important it is. And there's all kinds of methods to do it. We want to talk with businesses. We want to talk with employees. We want to talk with young people. Community engagement is key because it's going to inform the vision for the plan. The vision for the plan is, this is what we want to be. This is what we want Glencoe to be. This is how we want things to work. And that vision is going to then split into a vision for each of the components. I'm only showing 3 here on the screen because, the screen gets too big and the text too small. But so we're going to have a component of the plan's vision regarding land use, regarding housing. We're going to have a vision for utilities and for water and sewer in Glencoe. We're going to have, and that vision is going to come from that community engagement. What people tell us is going to inform that vision. And from that vision, we'll develop goals. And those goals, the way we implement those goals is through the recommendations of the plan. So community engagement is a really key, important component of the plan. The community engagement plan, which I haven't sent to you yet, but I will send to you today, it's a guiding document that provides an overview of the tools that we'll use for doing the work. It's a guiding document that is going to evolve through the life of the project. And we're going to evolve it with you. And so what I'll send to you today is a first draft, and it's going to be part of our homework. I'm going to ask you to take a look at it, and I'm going to ask you to write back or to mark up the document using Adobe Acrobat. And I will send you the instructions on that as well. And then we'll get your comments, and then we'll improve it. And then we'll begin to use it to get the word out, and we'll begin to implement the different activities. And I'm gonna quickly show you what it looks like. Again, we're gonna switch over, and so, oops, let's make sure that it's open. And so, and this is the document that I'll be sending to you. So this is a community engagement plan, and it describes the audiences that will be engaging, and you can see that at the bottom of your screen here. And we're talking about internal partners. The PSC, for example, is an internal audience, and external stakeholders is the public, the members of the Glencoe community. So some of this information I shared with you previously, but then we're going to be talking about other audiences, and the key ones for the engagement plan is the community and external stakeholders. So we have a set of recommendations for how we might connect with residents, how we might connect with the business community, how we might connect with school partners, and then thinking about also underrepresented populations in the city. So, for example, with, I'm sorry, this thing just kind of did a little bit of something funny here. 1 second. So thinking about how we reach low-income communities, how we reach speakers of other languages, etc., how we reach visitors. And then here we detail the methods that we're going to be using, and the different, the online open houses, virtual open houses, the site planning workshop that I mentioned earlier for the Economart, etc. And we'll also have a few sessions in Spanish, knowing that almost 1 out of 5 residents of the city is in Spanish. So I think we are proposing 2 and some translation. Oh yes, 2 listening sessions in Spanish, a translation of selected materials, etc. And we have a project website as well that is mentioned, and a wiki map. And right now we have drafts of the wiki map and the website available. So I want to invite you to go to glencoeplan.org. I will send this all in a follow-up email that I will be sending this afternoon, probably around 5 or 6 today. I'll send a whole bunch of emails asking you to review, and you know, I won't make everything due in a week because I know that it's a lot and it's our first meeting. But just so that you know, we have been busy developing a lot of materials and content for you because we want to get going. And I know that you're anxious to have us get going on this work. This is a wiki map, which is, and it's just right now has testing information. I would like you to review it, play with it, tell me if it's hard or easy to use, if the questions that it asks are the right questions. Try to put data in. We'll delete everything before we make it public, so that, you know, feel free to, it's just see how it works and see if it makes sense to you. And with that, I think we're at, we have 2 minutes left. Oh my goodness. Next steps. We want to make sure to confirm our meeting schedule. And we set third Thursday of each month. That means our next meeting is December 17th at from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Let me know if that doesn't work or if it won't work for people. Again, please use the chat to send your comments and thoughts. On other times, I'll leave the meeting activated for a few more minutes, for 5 minutes after 1. so that you can get all your comments in. Everything that you type in will be able to get. And you can, if you want to write to me privately as well, you can do so via the chat, or you can send me an email. You have my email address. And with that, I think that's all that we have. Please also in the chat, let me know if you think this meeting, what do you think? If this is going to work for you, if you feel like we covered too much, probably too much, or too little, or just right. And if you have any questions right now, please let me know. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen and be looking at the chat as well. But like I said, I'll keep this on for a while. Don't be shy. Tell us what you think about the meeting today.
So this is Carrie. Working in public health, I've had to do a lot of COVID things. And we had a testing site in Glencoe, partly because of Seneca and the population there that is Hispanic. And we found that Hispanic population, at least in our area, is very verbal and auditory. So I feel like we might struggle having people involved with all this virtual stuff. So we might have to think outside the box if we want to include that population in some of this. I know that our community health workers were very key. I know that Luce Duvall is a community health worker in Sibley County, but she lives in Glencoe. So she might be very key to this this group if we wanted some representation. Otherwise, Carmen Patino might be a good addition. So that was just my thought, because that was our struggle, trying to reach all of our population in a respectful way that they would hear the message. So that if we're adding 5 to 6 people, I would suggest maybe one of those 2 people.
Carrie, can you put those 2 names in the chat?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Carrie. That's very helpful. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Merit.
Yeah, I had a couple people write in response to the question about, are there any concerns about expanding the steering committee? And what I heard back was the same, and I think it's very relevant, and that is, if a group gets too large, it can become a little bit unwieldy, too many cooks in the kitchen. And the group's already pretty large, so I think that's something we'll all want to make sure that we think through how to have the most productive and effective meetings so that everybody gets to participate and we can dig into the issues. And so we'll brainstorm some ways to do that and encourage suggestions and ideas from you as well.
I can maybe give you a comment. I said no to this just because I work on a ton of teams. And so I think what might be valuable is when we're working on certain areas of the comp plan to bring in content experts that are there for a shorter amount of the time of the group. So say we're working on transportation, we would bring some content experts in on transportation, or so they're not there for all of this committee, but they're only there for that particular topic because they're the content expert and they might have good ideas. Mm-hmm. So that could help us balance our membership possibly.
I see. So, okay.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you, Carrie. Anybody else about the meeting, about the PSC, how you feel the meeting today went? And again, use the chat box if you'd like, or just tell us now. And I know it's 1:03, so we're over time already. So nobody has to stay. It's okay. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes, but then we'll close off at 1:05, 1:07, something like that. Anybody else? Thank you all for participating. Thanks for joining us today.
It's nice to meet you all.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. busy day. Thanks, Merritt.
Yeah, thank you, Antonio. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, take care. I'm gonna close up, I think. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.